Grass is important to Florida agriculture and for the state of Florida, because if we didn't have grass, specifically Bahia grass, we would erode into the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico.
For over 30 years, Florida ranchers and dairymen have trusted Dr. Ann Blount to help them grow the best grasses for their herds. A professor of agronomy, Ann has dedicated her career to researching and implementing innovative techniques to improve forage production throughout the Sunshine State. Don Bennick's dairy is one of the largest in the state.
Ann and some of her team have really worked on doubling and tripling the value and the production from this land by growing different crops.
This research also reduces the need for pesticides and fertilizer, lowering the amount of phosphorus and nitrogen in the groundwater.
What we've done is been able to develop varieties that offer them better stewardship for their land, so they're in compliance. We develop a lot of the BMPs that now we're giving them the tool in the toolbox, the better varieties that they can use to better manage their best management practices.
Ann's love of agriculture began on her family farm on the small island of St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. After high school, she moved to the U.S. mainland and earned an undergraduate degree in crop science from Texas A&M. Ann continued her education at the University of Florida, earning her master's in crop ecology and PhD in plant breeding and genetics. In 1988, she joined the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences and currently serves as Professor of Forage Breeding and Genetics for the North Florida Research and Education Center in Quincy. Ann lives nearby with her family on a Florida Century Pioneer family farm, now in its fourth generation with daughter Evie. She says she never thought about leaving Florida, loving the weather and even the challenges it presents researchers.
We're on these light sandy soils. We have these things called nematodes. We have high humidity. We have these things called fungi. So if you ever wanted to be a plant breeder, Florida's the place to be. So I think overall, by improving our varieties, we've given the bottom line economically a boost.
Ann's extensive research record has focused on Bahia grass and perennial peanut, and has produced dozens of other varieties and 6 plant patents. Her publications include hundreds of articles and abstracts. This science has improved the production and efficiency of thousands of acres of Florida pasture land.
She has helped immensely with helping us develop the quality forages to make our dairy industry competitive with that in the rest of the country.
She is well known across the state, and she can get a call from a rancher in South Florida that will be having a problem with one of their pastures, and she'll grab her calendar and say, I can be there 2 days.
Dr. Glenn Aiken is Ann's current supervisor and a fellow research scientist. She says her passion for people is just as strong as it is for plants. In 2014, she was named Specialist of the Year by the Florida Association of County Ag Agents.
She not only wants to know about your farm, she wants to know about you. That's probably the best way to put it. That's Ann. That's Ann. So it's a real pleasure working with her.
So I have long-term personal friends. They started out as producers that I've just worked with either on their farms or answering questions over the years. So I've come away from this job with a whole slew of really good friends and a lot of close friends, and I don't know that everybody could say that about their job.
Ann is a mentor to many students and new extension agents. She uses a hands-on approach to train agents to implement innovative foraging and help landowners test new livestock forages and wildlife blends to assess potential use on their properties.
If I could advise any youth coming along, make sure whatever job you pick is one that you absolutely love, because you're probably going to spend more time with your job than your spouse or your family a lot of times. But it's very important, and I think when you come home at the end of the day and you really enjoy what you do, you're satisfied, and that bleeds over into your home life.
Anne also makes time to give back to her community. She is a 4-H volunteer and Junior Beef Show Secretary for the North Florida Fair.
I think that 4-H and FFA are critical. I think that we need to support those programs. I think the children that I see who come out of those programs have a different level of commitment. They learn responsibility, they're a lot more structured, and they have a lot of fun along the way.
While she plans to retire in a couple of years, she has no intention of leaving Florida agriculture.
I hope to continue on as a volunteer even after I retire, maybe get a little bit more involved with the youth, because I think it is about the youth. You got to train your next generation. I have to find my replacement out there somewhere.